G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. club. I'm just going to go on a walk and talk. I'm in the bushland here close to home, probably about 1 kilometre from my place. And there's a lovely little bush area here where I love coming down here just to get away from things, to chill out and be one with nature. So today I want to go through a book summary. We've been ploughing through a number of book summaries, and it's been really productive, and I'm really happy with the progress that we're making, and I feel as if we're well on the way to reaching the 1,000 vlog goal that I have, and I'm trying to get there by my birthday, which is the 27th of May. I reckon we'll get there. I just need to continue pumping out maybe 4 or 5 vlogs a day, every day. Today I've only done one so far. I did one this morning at Bondi after my swim in the morning. So I need to do at least a couple today, and then I'll catch up during the week and do maybe 5 a day. One before work, one at morning tea, one at lunchtime, and a couple maybe after work. So the book summary that I want to cover today is entitled, and it's an interesting title and an interesting book. It's entitled The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. A real catchy sort of title, and it's written by a real cool author, a real popular author by the name of Robbin Sharma, who's written quite a few life-changing sort of books, which gets people to reevaluate their lives and to look at what they're doing and help reprioritize and reset, which is the big word these days, to reset, adjust, refine, redefine what they want to do and how they want to do it. So the author talks in this book, and his opening statement is that everything is created twice, once in the mind and once in reality. So the author then, with his first point to come out of this book, talks about the importance, and we all know this, we've been told it time and time again by each generation, by our grandparents, our parents, uncles and aunts, all of our elders keep on reminding us of this one point, and our spiritual leaders, of course. And the point is that we need to learn how to guard our mind, how to stand guard at our mind and learn to control our mind and basically be the gardener or the guardian. Just pretend that your mind is like a wonderful garden, or potentially a wonderful garden. But a wonderful garden needs to be tended to. It needs to be guarded. It needs to be weeded. It needs to be maintained and managed. Else it gets overgrown, and else it gets out of control. And once it's out of control, now we've all been there with our gardens. Once it gets out of control, then it's almost impossible to get back under control. But it takes a huge effort, and who's got the energy? Who's got the inclination, and who's got the foresight to want to do it anyway? So the author talks about the importance of learning how to train your mind, how to control your mind, and to stand guard at your mind. And he introduces a technique called the Heart of the Rose exercise, which is pretty simple. All you basically do is just hold a rose in your hand, and it's that time of year where there's plenty of roses about. So all you do is just grab a rose, hold a rose in your hand, and just look at it. And for 5 minutes, all you do is just admire the rose and just keep on saying to yourself and repeating to yourself and giving yourself an opportunity to admire it and to say how beautiful it is. And what this exercise will show us is that we're distracted. we're the product of distraction all the time, so you can't really focus on the one thing for long enough before your mind starts wandering and you start getting distracted. So this exercise is all about highlighting this weakness that we have, but also helping us understand that by continuing to practice focus, then we can get better at it. So basically, stare at the rose and try and fill your mind with thoughts about how beautiful it is, and then start to deal with the distractions that come into our mind. I often speak to my spiritual father about this very, very thing, and I'll say to him that I'll be in church, for example, and I'll be, paying attention and focusing. Then all of a sudden my mind will start wandering, and before I know it, I'm well off on a tangent, many, many different ways from where I am. So the author then, not the author, my spiritual father says that it happens to everybody. So we need to be neptic, which means we need to keep guard on our minds, and it's a Christian principle as well. You'll often find when you look at a Greek Orthodox icon, and I say Greek Orthodox because I'm Greek Orthodox and I understand Greek Orthodox icons a little bit better than other icons that may be about. But in a Greek Orthodox icon, you'll see all the saints have a furrowed brow and a crease here, and a furrowed brow and a focused look. And I often wondered what that was all about. But my spiritual father basically tells me that that's a state of nepsis, where you're standing guard to your mind, and you don't let bad thoughts or tangents come into your mind, where you can just focus on what you want to focus on. And of course, if you're a monk or if you're a Christian, then you'll be focused on prayer, you'll be focused on God, you'll be focused on living a godly life or a Christian life. And it changes, and it all depends on what you want to focus on. But there's just another example of how the standing guard at your mind. Standing guard is something which is not a foreign concept to Christians and other people who practice spirituality. The next beautiful point to come out of the book here by Robbin Sharma is that there are 10 rituals for radiant living. And it's a simple morning routine, which I do quite a few of these things by default. So I was really, really excited to see this, because I said to myself, geez, I do that. And there's a few things that I haven't done or I haven't considered that I'll try and incorporate into my daily routine. So let's just go through these 10 rituals for radiant living and see where it takes us. So the first one is to wake up early. Basically 6 hours of sleep, and wake up early enough so that you can see the sunrise or experience the sunrise. For those who know me well, you know that I am an early riser and I love sunrises. So much so that I've got my own 5 a.m. club, which I promote on a daily basis. So waking up early and seeing a sunrise is something that should be a daily ritual for all of us. The second thing is to practice silence shortly after waking up, even if it's just for a few minutes. I guess the benefit that I have is because I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, there's nobody else awake, so I'm automatically practicing silence as I'm preparing to get dressed and go to work. So it's all about practicing a little bit of silence. The third thing that the author talks about is to do some exercise on awakening to get the blood flowing. So an early morning exercise regime, and I know where your mind's heading there. But what I do in the morning for my morning exercise routine is that I'll walk to the bus stop, and the bus stop's about 1 kilometre away. So it takes me about 10 minutes to do that kilometre, and it's a brisk walk, so that's my early morning exercise. But I also do swimming of a morning, so Sunday mornings, for example, this morning I went for a swim. So I get it. I get the importance of getting your body moving first thing in the morning. The fourth point is eat well, eat fresh food, and in particular to be vegetarian, and to eat a living diet. Eat living foods that are still living, like vegetables, fruits, and things like that. And that's one way of maintaining your health. It's a little bit difficult for all of us to do that, but it's something that we should keep in mind. And I'll be doing that while I'm fasting for Easter. So come the 14th of March, I will commence my Lenten fast for Easter, and I'll be eating a lot better and living a more wholesome life. The fifth point, and it's something that I do and I recommend to everybody, and you'll know, the people who know me well know that I do this, and it's to keep your mind stimulated and to basically learn something new every day. And what I say is that not only should you be learning something new every day, but you should also be teaching something new every day, so that we live, learn and pass it on. The sixth point is that we need to maybe consider time to reflect, and you may want to do this in the evening and ask yourself a couple of good questions. What did you do during your day that was at your best, and what can you improve on? That's a beautiful way of ending the day with that sort of reflection. The seventh thing is to listen to music. Spend more time listening to music, and I guess I've now joined a choir, and I do spend quite a bit of time now listening to music and learning songs. So I'll be part of the chorus for the Affairs choir. So it's something that I will be doing, and I recommend the importance of listening to music. But I also dance to music as well. I'm a dance fitness instructor, albeit injured at the moment, but I'll be doing whatever I can to get back into to my dancing and my exercise routine and my expressing myself through music and exercise. The eighth one is to have a mantra that you repeat throughout the day. One of the mantras that I use on Jim's 5 a.m. club is that I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. One of the other mantras that we use is the Jesus prayer. If you're a Christian, my spiritual father always recommends that we continue to pray throughout the day and until it becomes subconscious. And spiritual people, monks, priests, bishops, people who are deeply into their spiritual life will pray continuously throughout the day, saying the Jesus prayer. And that's something that the author here has highlighted, and it aligns with the sort of things that I'd love to do with my life, especially as I get older and have more time on my hands. The ninth thing is to be aligned and congruent with your principles, priorities and goals, so that your actions are aligned to your principles, your morals. And that's something that we all try and do, at least we talk about it. Practicing it, of course, is a lot more difficult, especially in today's world when we've got so many distractions around us all the time. And the 10th item here is to live your priorities. How many people do you know? How many times do we hear people complaining that they're unhappy with their lives because they're not living the life that they want? Whereas the author here is calling us to action, saying, you've got one life, you've got a unique life. Each person's life is different. We've got a different present, we've had a different past, and we're all going to have a different future. And we're all called to do the things that will serve God and serve other people. And you need to basically live your priorities. And in order to live your priorities, you need to, first of all, acknowledge and identify what those priorities are, making sure that they're aligned to your principles, to your goals, to your values, and then to remove everything else in your life which is unnecessary. And that's the hard bit, getting rid of all the clutter, getting rid of all the things that are happening around us which are unnecessary. But it's hard just to cut from those things, because they are fun and they are enticing. So that's easier said than done. But if you want to have a fulfilled life and to feel happy and to feel joy, then the author here is talking about aligning to your priorities and living your priorities, not mine, not your mother's, not your father's, not your partner's, not your children's priorities, but living your priorities. Anyway, so the third major point to come out of this book is another beauty, and it's basically another call to action to selflessly serve others and serve God, and you will be better off yourself for doing that. So the author then talks about a most beautiful quote, and especially on Valentine's Day today, this quote really resonated with me. And hear me up now. And but by the way, I asked a question on Facebook the other day for all the people who follow Jim's 5am Club, or at least are friends of mine on Facebook and Instagram. I asked them, who has watched a Jim's 5am Club from beginning to end? And I only got a couple of people who said that they've listened to a 5am Club from beginning to end. But a couple of people who are really, really close to me said that they've never, ever listened to a 5am Club from beginning to end. And I've done over 700 of them. So, but deep down I had a bit of a chuckle, and I said, there will come a day where I won't be here, but you will listen from beginning to end to at least a couple of my Jim's 5am Clubs, and wished that you'd spent more time listening to more of these things, because they're lessons which come from the heart, and there's no agenda here. It's all about growing, developing, living, learning, and passing it on. But let's get to the quote. The quote here, and I'll go slowly and I'll say it loudly. A trace of fragrance always remains on the hands that present you with roses. A trace of fragrance always remains on the hands that present you with roses, which basically says that by helping others, by giving to others, you're also benefiting, because it's a two-way street. By being selfless, you're giving, and the giver also receives. And it's also proven scientifically that you have dopamine and all those pleasure hormones being fired off when you're selflessly giving to other people. So the author talks about the importance of considering small acts of kindness which change not only your day, but the days of others. And on a day like today, or leading up to Easter, make sure that you call somebody, make sure that you praise somebody, and make sure that you're connected with the people around you. So thank you very much for joining me on this afternoon walk in the bush on Jim's 5am Club, and going through this wonderful book about the monk who sold his Ferrari by Sharma. And it's a real story about somebody who was in the finance industry, who basically got sick and tired of the rat race, gave up everything, and decided to live a life of serving God and serving others, and finding and feeling endless fulfillment in that process and on that path. So thank you very much for joining me on Jim's 5am Club. To all my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and let's take a few lessons from here. And those 10 rituals for a radiant living are things that I definitely live and can recommend. There's a few others there that I'll look at adding throughout my day, because we can all improve on our lives and all improve what we're doing. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, and as we said, stay reasonable. And I look forward to coming to you again tomorrow from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment, and hopefully where we can all help each other be the wind beneath our wings, and to rise up and get through the morning, get through the day, and get through the week, because Sunday is the first day of the week. And I look forward to a busy week and a productive week. It's going to be wet, I think, all week, so we'll see how we go. But thank you once again for joining me, and I look forward to coming to you again soon with another message, another book summary. Filakia, and bye for now. Yasas.